So you crashed. And now your confidence is gone. And you're frustrated and don't know what to do.
Okay, I'm sorry, this is let's go do something fun.
Don't worry, we got the answer.
Well, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, I'm Sid.
And I'm Mackie, and today we are going to talk you guys through our 5 top tips for mentally recovering from a bad or scary crash.
This is the question we get more than anything else on this channel, and it's a really hard topic, and there isn't any one right answer, which is why we came up with 5 tips. Some of these might work for you, some might really not, but hopefully this video can help you get back out there on your bike feeling confident and having fun.
And hitting awesome things.
Yeah.
Tip number 1 is make sure that you are 100% recovered and healed before you go back to whatever it was that made you crash. We're gonna call it a feature because that's kind of the mountain bike lingo for like anything that isn't just part of the trail. Yeah, or a drop, or
rock garden or something.
Yeah, something like that. So you need to make sure you are at least as strong, as fit as you were when you crashed, because otherwise you're going into that same situation less prepared than you were, which is just going to make you more likely to crash again.
Not just going back to that feature, you want to be 100% physically recovered before you start riding trails that challenge you at all. And I think a lot of people kind of skip this step because they want to get back into riding and they want to get back to riding with their buddies. But if you start riding and you have, say, a weak shoulder,
weak wrist, like I did last year,
and you're not fully recovered, you're going to feel sketchy and you're going to feel scared. And you should. Like, that's your body saying, whoa, 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 I'm not ready for this yet. So if you're scared and you're also in pain while you're riding or having weakness while you're riding, the issue is not being scared. The issue is that weakness and that pain. So address that first. And this might not sound like a mental tip, but it really is, because our brain is just reading signals from our physical body. So you will feel scared and sketched out if you are not 100% physically fit. Tip number 2 is to figure out what went wrong and make peace with that.
Sometimes it was just bad luck. Like, we're riding mountain bikes here, people. It's a dangerous sport. You just have to accept that sometimes things are out of your control. There was nothing you could do. But a lot of the time, if you look back on, sometimes you have footage, whether that's like a camera you were wearing or somebody was, taking pictures or video of you, you can figure out exactly what went wrong. It might have been poor line choice. It might have been going too fast. It might have been going too slow. It might have been going into it scared and like getting really far back to try to I'm scared of this feature. It could be a lack of skills. It could be a lack of strength. There are all sorts of possible reasons that you were not prepared for this feature. And you need to figure out exactly what that reason was so that when you come back to it and you are ready, okay, I took care of the problem. Now I'm ready to do it.
And when you do find that reason, it can be really empowering because often it's something that is in your control. For me, one crash like this happened on a trail called Jagged Axe in Glorietta. I hadn't ridden the trail for a year. I rolled into a feature that I thought I remembered, but I didn't stop to look at it, and basically just missed the roll line, stuck my front wheel in a 3-foot hole, and went over the bars into this chute. And this was not a crash that affected me too much mentally because I went back and I looked at it and I was like, next time I'm not gonna stick my wheel in that 3-foot hole. I'll go where there's a roll line. So that was an easier crash to get over mentally than some of the ones I've had where, there isn't really a good reason. Yeah, or not a reason that's within your control.
Yeah. Like, I had a crash at Glorietta also. Actually, I think it might have been that same year. I just clipped a little tree. Like, we're talking like a maybe 12-inch tall tree with my pedal.
Tree is a big word for this little thing.
A sapling.
Yeah.
I hit a sapling that was 12 inches tall, and I thought it would just give, and it didn't, and it grabbed my pedal and it flipped me over the bars. I was okay because I rolled out of it, but it pulled out my dropper post cable, so I couldn't use my dropper post anymore. So it's those kind of things that sometimes they're out of your control. Sometimes you know what went wrong, and a huge part of getting over it mentally is being like, oh, this is what happened. I know what happened. I can do it differently in the future.
Our third tip kind of dovetails off of that, and that is to work on your skills. There are some crashes that are out of your control, that's just bad luck, but usually they aren't. A lot of the time, even if you do have some bad luck, the better your skills are, the better your body position, the better your cornering, the less likely that bad luck will result in necessarily a crash or a bad crash. So when you're injured or recovering or just recovering your confidence is a really good time to go back to those basic skills.
We would say the most important basic skills to work on are first, body position, second, cornering, and third, body position when jumping or doing drops.
This can also be a good opportunity to maybe seek out a coach, a skills coach to work with. If you do end up working with someone, definitely be upfront about the mental hurdles that you're trying to overcome. Like tell them that you've had a crash, that you're not necessarily interested in like pushing through fear and that you want to work on these basic skills. And I think spending some time with a coach just in a parking lot or something that's a completely non-threatening environment where you can just think about body position and all of that. And, you know, it'll make you a better rider to do that, even if it takes you months before you get back to actually riding technical things on the trail. If you're spending those months working on basic skills, you will come back better, stronger, and your confidence will eventually rebound.
Another important thing to remember is that you can't learn when you're scared. Like if you're scared, your body automatically goes back to what you used to do. So you want to make sure that you are working with a coach, like Sid said, in a way that isn't scaring you. It's not pushing your limits. You don't want to be pushing your limits when you're working with a skills coach. You want to be feeling totally comfortable in a way that your body can process it and like really get it in, so that then when you are scared, those are the skills that come out like boom automatically instead of the old bad habits that you've learned.
This is something that our skills coach Lee is really good about. At the end of this video, we will link to a video that we did with Lee. And
we'll also include a link in the description to his website. He does both group skill sessions, he does one-on-one skill sessions, and he has a online school where you can like work through videos at your own pace and then submit videos for feedback. Tip number 4, work up to the feature or the section that caused your crash. I have this tendency, probably you have this tendency, if something scared you or caused you to crash and you're scared of it, you want to like go back and show that feature who's boss. Well, unfortunately, if you crashed on it, that probably means you're not ready to show that feature who's the boss, because it was the boss. So instead of like immediately going back and being like, I'm gonna hit this feature right now, I've got this, I just gotta get over it, go find similar features that you know you can hit or that you feel more comfortable hitting, and then do those instead. So this could be a jump. Like here's a jump that I did in Nevados de Chillán, Chile. This is a big jump. It's like a big step up. You can also see it from the lift, so everybody's watching you when you hit this jump. I did not get to the bike park and immediately go hit this jump. Instead, I worked on a ton of other jumps. I was hitting smaller jumps. I really worked up to being able to hit this jump confidently, properly, so that when I did hit it, I didn't crash and scare myself.
And this is something that takes even more time if you've already built up a mental hurdle to something. So you may need to spend a lot of time riding things that used to be easy for you. And hopefully they're still easy, but you don't have to get into that scared mentality and you can just ride and have fun. And then when you're ready, you'll know, and then you can go conquer that thing that took you out.
Show it who's boss.
So our final tip is to set yourself up for success.
This is really important, and another one that people very frequently ignore. You should not go back to this feature or whatever caused you to crash if you are hungry or tired or having a bad day. All of those are perfectly good reasons to say, you know, not today. I'm doing it a different day.
A lot of times when we get these questions from people, we can sort of detect this sense of urgency and like panic. And the reality is it's not a big deal. And it does take time for everyone. It does not take the same amount of time for everyone. As we discussed, like different crashes impact you differently. If you know exactly what you did, like maybe there isn't that big of a mental block. Maybe you don't know what you did, so you're scared. Maybe you've had a lot of time to think about it, and that's made you more scared.
Yep.
So don't compare your process to someone else's, and definitely don't do anything before you're ready. And when you are ready, make sure you're well fed and well rested and just having fun on your bike.
Next, you should check out this video. We're going to put it over Sid's head, of us working with our skills coach Lee and some of the stuff that he taught us that helped make us more able to hit these scary features.
Thank you guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully it helped you to be more awesome.